This episode is sponsored by quality and innovative Game Bore cartridges. Game Bore shot shells are the choice of world champion David Radulovich and 26 times world champion George Digweed MBE. White Gold and Dark Storm contain precision-made diamond shot, manufactured exclusively in England, and coupled with high-performance smooth velocities, providing less felt recoil. If you're serious about your scores, you have to shoot with the best. When every clay counts, make sure you never compromise. Game Bore is the most decorated FITASC and sporting clay shot shells in the sport's history. Available now throughout the U.S., exclusively from KL Ammo. Find them online at www.GameBoreUS.com. Game Bore are simply the champion's choice. Welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast with your hosts, Jason Rambo and Sean Alley. We bring you all things sporting clays. Our focus is bringing new shooters to the sport and helping all shooters by giving you the most useful info from coaches, pro shooters, gun clubs, product and service specialists. The Dead Pair Podcast, what every shotgun shooter wants to hear.
Paul?
Dead Pair.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Rambo. With me, the man that's large and in charge, Mr. Sean Alley.
How you doing tonight, Jason?
I'm doing real good. We are very honored to have in studio with us Mr. Paul Weaver and his lovely wife from the Airport Ridge Sporting Clays in Millersburg, Ohio. Mr. Weaver, how are you this evening?
Doing very well. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's an honor to have you. I'd like to dive right into this, but real quick, if I could, big shout out to Scott Hitch, Todd Hitch's dad.
Yep.
We appreciate the, how do you want to even say that? That's like the make or break taunting.
The prodding. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. For those that didn't get to see it, Jason and I were challenged on Facebook to do a shoot-off against each other. Scott thought it would be great to put us head-to-head and see what happened.
Yeah, and you got me.
I got him.
But the bet, which, by the way, Sean matched my bet, and we donated it to the Kids and Clays. Sean, I'm challenging you right here, right now. It's recorded. Double or nothing at the Ohio State shoot.
I'm on.
And we'll do the same donation again.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll put it towards Kids and Clays and the Ronald McDonald House. I'm all for that.
Awesome. Mr. Weaver, I'd like to get right to you if we could. Can you give us a little bit of your background? Before we get into the club, tell us, where you came from. How did you get started shooting sporting clays? Give us a little bit of your background.
Sure. Well, I've been in business most of my adult life. I had a construction company, and in 1980, if you were old enough to remember, the interest rates were 21%, and that took me out of the building business. But I got into my dad's business, a company called Weaver Leather, and I've been there for 40 years. I just retired this past year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And, part of the reason that I'm here and I'm speaking is I want to speak to the business people especially, because growing a company not only can be very stressful, it is. It takes a tremendous toll on a person.
No doubt.
To do it from little to big in 40 years. And so I have found out that this sport, to get together with friends and laugh and be competitive and shoot, and just the fellowship, is fabulous.
Yes.
And so that in a very short and very brief is where I came from. And the good news is that Sporting Clays has made a new circle of friends for me.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, I love the sport. I just love the sport.
Well, it sounds like we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
We've met some wonderful people in this sport, and we wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yes,
So,
I've noticed that.
Just last week we had Eric and Heather Roden in from Bear Pelt Vests, and he said that Mr. Browning had made a comment to him, there are no strangers in sporting clays. There's just friends you haven't met yet.
That's right.
And I think that's so awesome. And it's true. It's very, very
saying.
true.
It's very true.
You know?
Yes.
So how did you get started in the sporting clays? Did somebody take you for a round and you were hooked, or how did that come about?
That's exactly what happened. And as a kid, I grew up with a gun in my hand.
Yeah.
I mean, our sporting clays back when I was a kid were pop bottles in the air. And you waited till they arched, and you got pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And so I always loved wing shooting, and so this sport just came natural to me. I love guns. I love the outdoors. I love hunting. And so the guy took me to a local course, and I remember I shot a 45, and I'm thinking, that really stinks. And I beat the guy that took me.
Oh, geez.
Really?
But I told Gladys when I got home, I said, this is a sport I'm going to do the rest of my life. And I'm still doing it.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it, Jason?
Yeah, sounds really familiar. But one of the things I think people miss along the way is the safety aspect of it.
Yes.
You know, Sean and I, we were talking about that make or break challenge, and that was at the SCTP Nationals. And I'm going to find out the exact numbers from Jake and Luke Spangler when it's all said and done. But I know there was way over 3,500 kids there. They averaged at least 3 entries apiece. So there was over 10,000 entries to the different events. And I know it was over 1 million rounds fired by children with shotguns. And there wasn't even a scratch, not one injury.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's missed because this is a game that anybody from an 8-year-old child with proper instruction to as old as you can get and still carry a gun and still swing a gun, you can play this game safely without an injury.
That's
you
right.
know, and I think we miss a lot of that along the way. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
that's great.
so how did the dream come about of owning your own sporting clay course? Or was it just a natural progression?
Well, you have to understand, at heart, I'm an entrepreneur. And when I see an opportunity, and the opportunity that I saw is very few sporting clay courses that I was shooting had what I would call excellence. Mm-hmm. They were retired people, they had a farm, and they wanted some extra income, and they had a sporting clay course. And, I enjoyed shooting it, but the amenities were zero. Mm-hmm. And the presentations were whatever they thought people would enjoy. So longer ago, I thought, there will come a day when I'm retired, when I'm going to have a sporting clay course that has excellence. And don't understand excellence. Don't get that mixed up with perfection.
Right. I know what you're saying.
No. Everything is worth excellence, and very few things are worth perfection in my thinking. But anyway, ours is going to be excellent. And that's what I wanted.
So what year was it when you actually first got started in sporting clays? Do you remember offhand?
Oh, it's been 30 years ago.
Okay, so you grew up back in the day kind of like Jason and I did when we were younger. You had your own trapper.
Yes.
They'd walk
Yes.
out. Everything was mechanical, pull your own traps.
Yeah.
None of the electronic remote control stuff that we get these days that we're all spoiled by.
Now, going from one trap to the other, there was a pretty good chance you were going to jump a rabbit, and you could have shot him too.
Right, exactly. And it's come a long way. The sport's definitely come a long way.
It has.
Well, Sean, I know you were out there at a separate time from when I was, but you got to see that beautiful clubhouse. Is that not amazing?
It is. It used to be an old dairy barn, right?
It was in the beginning. It was a dairy barn, and then it was used as an event center.
Okay.
And where they had weddings. And, nobody needs a clubhouse that looks like this.
Yeah, but if you got one,
Well, the beauty of it is, in our area, and maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself here, but in our area, we are in the biggest Amish settlement in the country,
yep.
which is also one of the top 3 tourist attractions in the country, in the state of Ohio.
Yep.
And Amish people love to shoot. And so there's just an enormous amount of businesses in Holmes County.
Oh, yeah.
We're the hardwood furniture capital of the states. And so these people have anywhere from 30 to 50 employees. And the Amish love to bring their people, have a good time shooting, and then they have a gathering in the evening where the wives come. They have a dinner catered in.
Sure.
And so it becomes a day event.
It's a big family event.
It is.
Yeah.
And they may do that 3 times a year.
That's awesome.
It is.
That is awesome.
And what it does, guys, the relationships are more than just work. They know each other in a different way.
Right.
Yeah. Having fun.
Having fun.
Right.
So I'm telling the corporate people, if you have good vendors if you have great customers, he'll never forget the time that you took them out and had a fun day shooting and a nice meal.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, trust me, the discussion's already happened between me and my wife, Jason, and his wife. It's going to happen. We're going to go up there and go shooting, and the wives are going to go out to the Amish country and go do all the shopping and stuff. I mean, that's kind of a slam dunk.
And then we're going to reconvene.
And then we'll
for dinner.
reconvene and get some dinner after the
That's
fact.
right.
So I see that as a perfect afternoon.
Yeah.
So, how many acres did you acquire there? How many acres does the club encompass?
We have 135 where the course is on, and another 75 across the road if we ever want to develop it.
Okay.
And that includes the lodge or the barn, whatever you want to call it, and the course.
Now, what was it about this location that seemed to make it ideal for you for a sporting course?
Well, I bought it as a hunting property,
Okay.
and I sold my other one. I bought this as closer to home, and I started looking, and the elevations and things were absolutely perfect.
Yes.
I mean, at one point it looks like you're in the bottom of a mountain, and the next place it looks like you're in Kansas pheasant hunting.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I thought to myself, man, oh man. And then we had an opportunity to buy the barn and the other 25 acres, and we bought that. And from there, it's like we didn't need this much, but people are going to use the barn. There's no question about it, along with shoots. And the Amish are big on if something happens in their community. You've heard of barn raisings.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they also take care of their people. And so if somebody has an injury or an illness, they have fundraisers. So we're going to tell them, you can have a fundraiser here at no charge.
Nice.
Wow.
You just have your people shoot, and you can have the building for as long as you want to do your fundraiser.
That's awesome.
And we just think that's one way we can start giving back to the community. And that's where I come from.
Yep.
I come from the Amish sect. And so I speak their language, and it's going to be a big part of our business. Big part of our business.
That's awesome.
You know, Scott Manspeaker with Atlas Traps asked me to come out there and help because he set the traps up out there. And I'd been there for, I don't know, probably 3-4 hours. And I kept looking around. I was like, wow, this is really neat. And he saw me looking around. He kind of got a smile. He said, come on. I said, where are we going? He said, get in the buggy. And we drove the super sporting course out to the back and down into that valley. And I instantaneously felt like a kid at Christmas.
That's right.
You know, as a shooter, to look at this from no other perspective other than being a shooter, you're very, very excited when a new club opens up. It's another opportunity, another place to shoot, see new presentations and new backgrounds and stuff. And we went down in that valley, and that giant rock that sits off to the side, and then, you know, that was one station, and then where it drops down in the bottom, and I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like a kid in Christmas.
Yes.
I really did. And it became exciting to me, you know, like, when's this open again?
Yeah, right. Yeah, when I drove through there, I was just amazed at the terrain. I mean, anybody that can get a chance, get on the website, take a look. I think you guys still have the video posted, the kind of the flyover and stuff. It's a gorgeous piece of property, and as a shooter, there's a lot of neat stations to shoot and a lot of different presentations that they're going to be able to throw there. So
Actually, we'll have 30 stations.
30 stations, gosh.
30 stations, and out of the 30, there would be 18 that are super sporting.
Okay. All right.
So that's
yeah,
3.
so altogether, you're going to have like a 5-stand area, correct? And then you've got that first course that's kind of the half
That's a 12-stand course.
12-stand. That's kind of like a walking course.
That's a walking course. It's an orange course. It's not quite it has 2 traps apiece.
Okay.
People that are starting or just want to do something quick.
Go right out there
Yes.
and shoot.
The black course is a bit more challenging. It has 3 traps, and they're further, and they'll challenge the shooters.
Yeah, and it goes way down into the property, down to the woods, down to the
Yes.
valley and all that
Yes.
stuff. That's gorgeous.
Not to skip over that 5-stand, but that's a heated and enclosed 5-stand.
That is correct.
And that's huge up
Yes.
here in the Northwest.
It is.
This time, you know,
It
come
is.
winter time. So,
Yes. And we're seriously thinking about lighting it.
oh, very nice.
Wow.
We have the lights.
Oh, really?
There was an arena there that had 8 huge lights. So all we have to do is put them up.
Oh, goodness.
Wow. You can see some late night fall shoots out there on a Friday night. I can already see it.
I'm thinking the whole moving to Florida thing. I might have to.
Put the brakes on that, Jason.
Well, the wife edits these, and I might get shot for that. But anyway, American Field Sporting. I had talked to you briefly about it while I was out there. You said you have another 75 acres. Is that maybe something we could see in the future?
Yes.
American Field Sporting Course. That'd
Yes.
be wonderful.
Yes. It lends itself to something pretty special.
Yes.
Terrain change is unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Well, back up a minute. I know you're not quite officially open. I think by the time this airs, you will be open. Is that correct? When's
We're going to be open this coming Monday, which is July the 29th. It's our
Okay.
first day that we're open.
So this will air 3 days after that.
Okay.
So what has been, and I know you're not open to the public yet,
Okay.
but what to this point has been your biggest challenge with getting this thing off the ground?
The biggest challenge really has been getting the stuff that we need in time. Everybody's short of help. Ammunition is almost impossible to get.
Yeah.
And that's been difficult as far as we don't even have our rental guns yet. And they basically told us it's going to be probably October or December in that time frame. Wow. And so that's been the difficult part. The rest of it, I used to be a builder. I've enjoyed doing this. It's in my wheelhouse.
Just another construction project,
Exactly.
basically.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
We talked about what you're offering now with the 5-stand and the 2 courses, and you just brought up rental guns and ammunition. So tell everyone, aside from the beautiful clubhouse, and you talked about food, is that something that's going to be there eventually? Or
Right now we have 2 people that cater any occasion that we want.
okay,
They're real close to us. So if any group wants to come in the evening, they're actually like a mile and a half away.
oh wow,
And they'll be up and they'll cater it. So that's what we have right now.
Gotcha.
but
Long
you're-
term, who knows?
yeah, but you're going to try and offer ammunition.
Yes.
Just you have one shell manufacturer. You're working on a couple different ones,
We're
or
working on anything we can get.
That's probably a wise choice.
That's the kind we're after.
I think just every shooter in the country is working like that right now.
It's amazing.
When I was up there, I noticed you guys had a full complement of golf carts.
Yes.
So you had those ready to go for people. What else did I see? I'm just trying to think of some of the other amenities that you guys had up there. I mean, 5-stand, the walking course, the black course. You got buggies. You're going to have catering. You're going to be able to do events.
Well, there's one more thing, and that is we're literally right against the Holmes County Airport.
Yes, yeah. Now that's a weird thing because I'm sitting out there like imagining myself at a station and I'm watching a plane land.
Yes, yes. And so we want to reach out to the Flyboys. I know they like to do something when they go somewhere, and all they have to do the number of the course is 10G, and all they have to do is give us a call. We'll be over and pick them up with a cart.
That's awesome.
They can shoot, and they can get back in their plane and fly home.
That would be cool. Can you
Yes.
imagine?
Well, if you quit messing around and get that winning lottery ticket, like I told you, we can do
I
this
keep
all the
trying.
time.
I'm just not doing a very good job
Jeez.
at it. I'm sorry.
You know, I put him to task, and you see what I deal with.
There you go.
I keep trying though. I keep trying.
Hey, listen, I still have some more questions here, Sean. I know you got some more questions. Mr. Weaver, we're going to catch up real quick with David Radulovic. He's
Okay.
just back from the World Championship in Hungary.
Great.
So let's take a quick commercial break. We'll catch up with David, and then I want to continue talking about this Airport Ridge. This is just absolutely awesome.
Perfect.
American-made Atlas traps are made right here in Kansas and feature the finest quality, innovation, and support in the business. Atlas traps are made using aircraft-quality aluminum and stainless steel to ensure your traps will outlast the competition.
So whether you're an individual needing a private trap for practice and recreation, or a club needing to outfit your entire facility, family-owned and operated Atlas Traps can suit all your needs.
Visit atlastraps.com to see the full line of commercial and recreational traps and accessories. With prices that won't make you see red and quality that won't leave you feeling blue, Atlas has the finest equipment available. RE Ranger, you can't hit what you can't see. With 14 clay sight lenses manufactured by Carl Zeiss Vision, Ranger lenses add target clarity and contrast no matter the lighting condition. Visit RERanger.com for all your shooting eyewear needs. Free shipping and returns in the U.S. on orders of $90 or more. And if you use the code DEADPAIR at checkout, you will save 10% off your order. See it further, see it faster, see it with precision with RE Ranger. All right, we've got David Radulovic, fresh back from Hungary, on the phone with us. This segment is brought to you by Bear Pelt. At Bear Pelt, it's not just your vest, it's your new uniform. What's up, Dave?
Well, I can tell you, I like the segment sponsor.
Well, in studio with us is the man that's large and in charge of, as always, Mr. Alley.
How you doing, David?
Pretty good.
And
Can't
then
complain.
we are very honored to have Mr. Paul Weaver from the Airport Ridge Sporting Clays in with us also.
Awesome.
Dave, so tell us about Hungary. How was it?
It's beautiful. I mean, first off, just Hungary in itself. My family is all from Serbia, and which is the southern bordering country over there. So I love to go over to shoot near Budapest because all the food and the culture is kind of like what my grandparents would make when I was a little kid. So even if I shoot bad over there, I definitely am happy on all the food. There's this saying: there's people that eat to live, and there's people that live to eat. And I definitely live to eat. So
Yeah,
I judge my places that I go to off of the culinary experience. But so Hungary's cool, and that's the place in 2017. It was at the exact same grounds that I won the world championship in 2017. So I kind of went because I didn't get a chance to prepare at all. With opening up my club down here in Arkansas, I've been teaching every single day since I can remember, and I've shot twice since November. So I had no practice going into it and was not going to win. To be honest, I was just kind of going to have a nice little fun trip down memory lane. But I ended up shooting pretty good. I got one bad night of sleep. Well, 2 bad nights of sleep. I ended up like 4 hours of sleep in 72 hours, and it cost me a lot of birds. And but it was fun. I think the targets were really good. They're having kind of the same problem that we're starting to have over here, where it was supposed to be on a different ground over there. This place called Gant, and it's a piece of property owned by the government. It used to be an old aluminum mine, and so the terrain is unbelievable. But the green politics over there kind of put the kibosh on that, and so they had to last minute move it to the only other place that was available in the country, which was the place that they had it in 2017. So that's what happened. So they really only had a month to prepare for a world championship, and you would have never known. I mean, they did such a good job. Targets were fun.
Wow.
Terrain was beautiful. I'll have to send you guys, if you haven't seen it, I'll have to send you some of the pictures and videos I took. I mean, it was like, people over here, I need to say this because, I was also watching the video of Airport Ridge, which you guys are talking about now on there, and, me starting up a place. When you build a gun club over here, you got to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on roads. You got to have golf carts for people to rent. You have to have these huge clubhouses. You got to have these, perfectly built stations so everybody can fit in and see good and be comfortable. I'm not kidding you. Over there, there literally not a single drivable vehicle other than a car on the property. You are walking. You'll walk miles a day to go and shoot 50 birds, and you're walking through crazy terrain. Like, when I say crazy terrain, I mean like mountains. You're just walking through these little paths in the mountains. And I'm in pretty good shape. I run 2 to 3 miles a day, and I'm out of breath walking up these hills, carrying all my ammo and my water on my back. And it takes a whole day to shoot 50 birds, and there's literally not a single thing that can be more fun. Over there, they just do things so much different, and to me, it is just the most pure version of the game that you can get. It's like, if you're a golfer, you can relate it to going and playing a round of 18 with your buddies on 2 golf carts, getting done in 2 hours, or going and walking 18 holes at like Augusta National. It is so much more of an experience when you're there without the golf carts, without the big drivable pathed lanes, and with these beautiful shooting venues. And it's, if anybody wants to spend money on a shoot and doesn't mind traveling, before you quit shooting this game, everyone has to go to a World FITEST Championship when it's outside the United States. It's the best experience you'll ever have playing this game.
So basically, it's a hiking event with a shotgun.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's so much fun.
Might have to vote myself out of that with my bad wheel and everything. I don't think my ankle would have taken that.
No, you'll be good. I had a guy from Germany in my squad, and I would say he was a good 250 kilos and was huffing and puffing up the hills and shot freaking awesome. I mean, it was so much fun to shoot with him. It's not a single person complains over that. It's just how it is.
Yeah, it'd be neat to witness. That's for sure. I was just being half serious there.
Oh yeah.
How was the ammo situation, by the way?
Over there, or you mean?
Yeah, over there. I mean, was it the same tight supply chain as we're experiencing here?
Yeah, I mean, all of our ammo over here we get from over there. So
okay.
It's the same issue. You're not going to feel it at a world championship though, because number one, let's transplant that world championship and bring it to the United States. When it's in the United States, we've got the main event, that 200 birds, 50 birds a day, but we also got probably 20 other events going on the property at the same time. So
right.
You could theoretically go there to a world championship in the U.S. and shoot 1,000 registered targets in 4 to 5 days. Well, over there, there's literally nothing else to shoot. I mean, there's no other event anywhere. You only have the 8 parkours, and you're only going to shoot 50 birds a day, and it takes you all day to do that. So you don't really feel this ammo shortage over there because, there were 800 people there, and not anybody needed more than one flat of ammo,
Interesting.
Wow. Well, let's back up for a minute. On the way there, the airline just so happened to lose your gun.
They lost it on the way back, too.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That has to be so nerve-wracking to be flying out to compete in a world championship, and you get there, and you don't have a gun.
Yeah, it's so it's different when you fly to different parts of the world to compete. You always have to have all these different shotgun permits and transfer permits and all these crazy things. And it was not anything to do with Hungary that was the problem. What happened was I had to fly. My flight was Little Rock to Atlanta to Amsterdam to Budapest. And when you fly through Amsterdam, you have to have this shotgun firearm transfer permit that has to go on the outside of your case. Well, it's so that, as crazy as this sounds, you don't even get to see or touch your shotgun, but the fact that it lands in that country and goes from one airplane to another, they need to have a permit and record of it coming in and out of the country. So that permit that I had on my case just held it up, and I had an hour layover there, and it didn't get a chance to get on my plane, and it went on the wrong plane and went to another country, and they couldn't find it, and it was just an absolute mess. So that's why it's really important, if you do fly over there, you need to get somebody that knows what they're doing to help you with all the transfer permits and everything. But I've had that kind of thing happen to me. I shot the world championship in England one year, and I had I didn't even do, I send all my information to the police over in England. You got to send it to the police, and they give you a shotgun permit. And the information that I sent was correct. They had a typo in my shotgun permit. It was one number off in the serial number of my shotgun. Could not enter the country with my gun. So that my gun had to stay at the airport for a week until they could do all the necessary paperwork to process a new permit just to change the serial number. And I didn't get a chance. I mean, thankfully I flew there a week and a half before the world championship, but it killed. Everybody else over there is traveling around to practice. I couldn't go do anything.
Bureaucracy at its finest.
Well, listen,
yeah.
I'm not trying to get political. Sean, don't look at me like that. I'm not getting political.
I got that edit button now. You better watch what you say.
But this is why our Second Amendment is so important in this country.
Well, absolutely.
So,
it's very important.
So, okay, Dave, that brings up the next question I had for you. And
yeah,
you and I had a phone conversation about this earlier. Pressure. You were telling me that, basically you and like Kaylee's over getting ready to compete for the Olympics, you guys thrive on that. You shoot better under pressure. And I was telling you that I just completely collapse in a tournament when I try, oh man, I really want to win this or whatever. I put too much pressure on myself and I just collapse. And you were telling me how you feel at home with it. I guess it kind of relates back to, like, take me in excavating. If you had an emergency situation and you need something done with an excavator or dozer, I could do it, and no problem. It wouldn't bother me a bit. In fact, I would probably thrive in it too. When it comes to shooting, it's a little different story. You've done this all your life, just like I did excavating all your life. So is that why? Or is it something going back to an even further conversation that you and I had about compartmentalizing your process during the shoot?
Okay, so there's two paths I got to go to answer that question, and the first one is that if I forget, because I'm probably going to forget knowing the way my brain works, just remind me that I was going to bring up something about competitive chess. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
okay.
Dave, we've only got a 64 gigabyte card here to record this, so
Don't worry, I can make it fast. So
We've heard that before.
yeah. So the biggest thing, when I say that, because I have a lot of students and they'll ask me, how do you deal with pressure? And I'll say, well, I shoot well under pressure. That helps me. It's like fuel to compete. And it kind of can come across as a little discouraging because people that hear that from me think, well, I'm not like that. I can never be that way. And I don't have a shot at being able to be good in this game then, if all the best shooters are that way. And I don't know if all the best shooters are that way. I know that the ones that I talk to about that are that way. I mean, the ones that I talk to are at the absolute upper echelon of the game and have won multiple major titles. And here's the difference. I was not that way when I was a few years into the game. I was not that way when I won my first major championship. I wasn't that way when I won my second major championship. The difference is that the status quo of your emotional response to an external situation in an environment will change as you become conditioned to thrive in that environment. Just like you're talking about with, an excavation, doing excavation, or think about a heart surgeon in a trauma ER or something. You throw somebody in there for the first time and somebody's life is on the line and they got seconds to do something, they're probably going to mess it up because they can't think right. But if that's the normal everyday thing, it's not the same thing for that guy. Okay. And so what happens is you have to put yourself in that situation enough to where it's not new anymore. You have to compete yourself into the scenario of being able to shoot a semi-decent round on Sunday and win a world championship enough times and probably fail 95% of them to be able to be comfortable in that situation. I don't know if there's anybody that would care about the sport that would not be nervous and perform badly their first time. If they didn't perform badly the first time, it was an accident.
That's fair.
But when you know how to perform well, it's from doing it enough, being there enough that now is your standard operational area. Now, why is that? What does that mean? That means, like, for me, it's very hard to shoot well at a match that I don't care about because I don't feel the pressure. And so it's so easy for me to not do the little things that make me win a world championship because there's so many things. And so now I'm going to talk about the chess thing real quick. And I might get the number wrong, but I remember it being so ridiculously high of a number that I'm pretty sure this is right. They were doing a study they couldn't figure out why competitive chess players were losing weight while they were sitting there doing nothing. So they measured their caloric burn, how many calories they're burning as they're sitting there playing chess. In one day, they burn 10,000 calories just thinking.
Whoa,
that's incredible.
That's not an exaggeration. And wow. if you guys have a phone up, Google it right now. Just do like chess players calorie burn per day. It's like 8 or 10,000. I don't remember what it is, but fact check that for me while I'm meandering on. But anyways, I'm pretty sure it's 10,000. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means that they are thinking so much that the energy that they're using to think is burning calories. I'm not playing chess, And I'm also not trying to make competitive shooting sound like, you know, I'm as smart as a guy that's a grandmaster in chess. But in my game, I am. And it does take that much work mentally to win a world championship. It is so physically draining to win a world championship because you are working so hard in your head. It's unbelievable.
I just looked it up, by the way.
Why does that come into play? It's because when it takes that much work to win one, it's really freaking hard to do that much work if you don't care.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
That's why when the pressure is on and you're in the middle of the Olympics and you have everybody in the world watching you, like what Kaylee's about to be doing in 3 days, she's going to freaking do good because that's going to bring her to a level that she doesn't get to access that often because it's all of a sudden now worth putting that much work in.
Awesome. I did look that up for you, David. 6,000 to 8,000 calories, they were saying.
Yeah, 6,000 to 8,000. Isn't that ridiculous?
That's ridiculous. I mean, there's probably a lot of cyclists and marathon runners that don't burn that much.
Yeah.
You know? So that's crazy. That's crazy, just with your mind.
And and now how many calories did you burn explaining all that?
Well, like I said,
Dave.
I live to eat, so I put back everything I burned.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
You better watch it. You get to be my age, you're going to look like either me or Sean. So,
yeah, you don't look like me, man.
yeah, we love to eat too. That's why we look the way we do.
I'm with you on that.
Now, if there was a world championship with that, well, my God, Sean and I would be the goats. So
sign me up for that.
Right. Right. Hey, so before we let you go, now that we've had all this conversation, how did you do? How did you do at the World Championship?
I shot 48 out of 50 the first day, 43 the second day, 47 the third day, and 48 the fourth day. Ended on a 186, and the high was 190. So, like I said, that no sleep really killed me because that 43, you make that a 47, which is what I shot the second day I had no sleep. And that was the easiest layout, 2 layouts that I shot when I shot the 43. I mean, they were unarguably the easiest 50 birds of the 200. Let's just give myself a 47, even though if they were easier than the ones I shot 48s on, I probably should have shot 49. But let's give myself a 47. That puts me at 190 and in the shoot off for a world title again. So
wow.
I'm not disappointed at all because like I said, I went there for a trip down memory lane and to enjoy the experience. And honestly, more as a vacation than a competition because I've been working so much. And also what I just said, let's not take away from the guys that shot a 190. I'm not saying that I should have had 195. I'm just saying, you know, the 190 score was a great score, and Gail and Joe, the 2 guys that shot that, did fantastic to do that on those birds. But I'm very happy. I mean, to shoot 2 times since November and be working as much, you know, teaching as I am, and to go 4 birds away from a world title. I mean, how can I be upset about that? You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm sitting here shaking my head. Jason's like, God, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget he turned a 99 and then won the shoot off against Anthony at the U.S. Open in the feed test.
Yeah, and you hadn't shot. How long had it been since you shot a registered target at that tournament?
Since November.
Okay, I'm hanging up on him.
I know,
right
just
now.
hang up on him now.
No, I take that back. That's a lie. I shot the Arkansas State the weekend before, but that was the first time
since November.
I went from November to the Arkansas State was my warm up, and then I shot the U.S. Open.
He's forgotten more than we'll ever know.
I know.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's
I hate
terrible.
this kid.
Well,
I know.
here's the thing about it.
Oh man, look at the time. Look at the time. Well, Dave, no,
just the only reason why I shoot good without practicing is because it's just so much fun. You know, like I had a really good friend of mine at the World Championship who was a fantastic shooter, very easily could have won it. Sent me a message. I posted this thing on social media. I was like, well, you know, not the day I would have liked, and yada, yada, yada. I made some self-depreciating jokes. And then I said, you know, for my friends that follow me on social media, I want you to think about this. If you only enjoy this game when you're winning, then you don't actually enjoy the game. And that type of person is only enjoying winning.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't really care about winning. I win because I like the game. And I'm telling you, I had so much freaking fun last week. It was just, I mean, it was beautiful. You get to, I mean, there's not a single person on my squad that spoke English. You know, I mean, it's just fun. And so because I may be tired or I may not be practiced up and been training, but I'm just enjoying it, you know? And so it's very hard to shoot that if you're having fun.
Well, and that's awesome. And in all seriousness, David, congratulations for a job well done. I'm sure that was,
Thank you.
you know, would have loved to have been there to see it firsthand.
Well, I need to say one thing real quick about Joe Finizzi, because Joe Finizzi, you guys got to get him on the podcast.
Oh, he's coming.
Yep.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
He's
So
coming.
he came in, he tied the high score. He posted the number first. A guy from France had to shoot a 49 out of 50 his last day to tie, and he did, which was pretty impressive. But I want to say something that I don't know if Joe will hear this, but I hope he does. Joe's, I think you guys might know, he's like 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah.
And he was rightfully so disappointed that he lost the shoot off. But the thing about him, and this is what's cool, you know, I hope that he finds the ability to, I know, you know, he reminds me of Tom Brady, because Tom Brady is super intense competitor and a freaking good one. And Joe, you know, was disappointed in the loss of the shoot off, but let's hope that in either now or in a few days, it sets in that he just got a silver medal at the Formula One Grand Prix, basically, of shooting, the equivalent of the Olympic gold silver medal in our sport. And he's 19 years old, and he's got another 40 years of doing this.
Right.
So he's got another
right.
80 tries to win a world championship. And that should be something to be incredibly proud of. And he did fantastic, and the whole country's proud of him.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, listen, Dave, thank you again for catching up with us. You get your butt up here. Hopefully, we're going to see you in the beginning of August.
Yeah, I'd love to be up there, and I love to check out the Airport Ridge. Are you guys thinking about having this? Do you think you'll ever want to try to bid for a state shoot?
I don't know. Let's put it that way. Right now, we're focusing on corporate events, and just we have a huge area that has a tremendous tourist population, and we just want to get our feet wet before we do something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
It's well, my question is, what can I do to convince you?
Well, when you come into town, we'll take you up there and we'll all go shoot. How about that,
That's
David?
right.
Perfect. That sounds good to me.
I tell you what, let's do that. When you get up in town, let me know. I'll get a hold of Mr. Weaver, and Sean and I and you and Mr. Weaver, we'll all sit down. We'll shoot around, and then we'll go have some lunch, and we'll talk about it.
Perfect.
That sounds good. That sounds awesome. I'd love to do that.
And it's all going to be funded by ProSign Studios.
Why not? Why not?
I just volunteered him. I get him in all kind of trouble.
He does.
You do that kind of stuff on air, you can't say no.
I know.
Right.
You can't say no.
Yeah, I did that with the make or break shoot off too. Now we see where that went.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
this is why his wife hates me.
Yeah, right. Well, David, it was awesome talking to you, man. Always great.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing and talking with you soon again.
Yes, thank you guys for having me on, and keep doing what you're doing. And Mr. Weaver, best of luck with your club, and I hope it does well. And if there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Look forward to seeing you there.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thanks,
See you,
buddy.
David.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.
Rad Chad Roberts is available and ready to teach you to be your best. Chad is a 2-time All-American, 2-time California FITAS champion, and a 2019 California State champion.
Chad stresses solid, fundamentally based processes that will ultimately allow a shooter to analyze and self-correct themselves as they learn and grow. He gives you all the tools to be able to apply the correct concepts and allow you to break targets consistently and be confident in all shooting situations.
Rad Chad can be reached at breakpointshootinginstruction@gmail.com, or you can call or text him at 949-637-3001.
Wow, it's always great to hear from David. He's always got a story or two to share, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I didn't want to cut him off, but he can't give too much out. We won't be able to do a future episode with.
Oh yeah, he'll be back on soon enough. We all
Yeah.
know that. We all know that. Well, let's get back to Mr. Weaver and let's
Yes.
talk a little bit more about Airport Ridge.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
What is your favorite feature of your club? What's your favorite feature? It could be a station. It could be anything. What's your favorite?
It's going to be the woods course. It's the most unique woods course you've ever seen in your life.
Yes.
I mean, it's got canyons in it.
Yes.
The birds are coming from places that you had no idea you could put a trap.
See, I can't wait. I'm frothing at the mouth, ready to let's go now.
Yes.
This will be the cherry on top of the sundae, no question about it.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
That's gonna be awesome.
You didn't get to see it, Sean, but I got to see a sneak peek of it, and we're in for a treat.
Yeah, no, I didn't
for
get down in there, but I can't wait to get on there and shoot. So I'm looking forward to it.
So you mentioned to David, he's teasing you about putting on a state shoot, which I think would be wonderful there.
Yes.
You definitely have the room for it. What are your future plans right now? What I mean, I know, again, we haven't even officially opened yet, but where do you see the club in a year, 5 years, 10 years?
Right now, we're focusing on corporate events because there's so many companies right around our area.
Right.
And the state shoots, I don't know if we're set up for them or not, because I've never been to a state shoot, to tell you the truth, but never say never.
Right.
I would much rather they come to me than I go to them. Let's put it that way.
Are you going to throw? I love it. Are you going to throw any registered targets at all?
That's also a question that's up in the air. I've heard a lot of pros and cons. More cons than pros.
I've heard both myself. Yeah.
Most of the courses, the owners have told me it's a lot of preparation, it's a lot of work, and you don't make any money. Don't forget, I'm a businessman. I don't major in things that don't make money.
Right. Well, the man we just had on the phone, and this is where I think you two need to have a discussion.
Yes.
Because I think you could both help each other.
I would love to, yes.
He told me he didn't want to throw any registered targets. But he felt that in order to get people to come see the club, you got that core group of registered shooters,
Yes.
right? They're going to go to a registered shoot.
Yes.
In order to get people to come see the club, experience everything you have there, and go, man, I'd like to have a membership here.
Yes.
So maybe and I'm not trying to sell you
No.
on it.
Like I said, never say never.
Right.
Well, and I think that's how Dan Bailey kind of started off too a little bit. He was
Yeah.
really not thinking about getting into registered shooting until he was kind of, I want to say forced, but
Coerced.
you got to
Right.
give the customer what they want. You know what I mean? That's the thing. If they're
One of the best business books I've ever read, a friend of mine gave me early on in my career, and it was The Path of Least Resistance. That's the way to do the path of least resistance is go where the money's at, or go where the attention. And I can see it's a great marketing venue to have registered shoots and state shoots because it puts you on the map.
Right.
So that's why I say never.
right. But I mean, honestly, you guys got to crawl before you walk.
That's right.
And you got to walk before you run.
That's exactly
so
right.
You got a long road ahead of you.
That's right.
But you are going to be open to the public, and you are going to have memberships
That's
there.
correct.
So, okay, we've went through this podcast, and there's somebody right now sitting on the edge of their seat going, man, I want to, okay, where's this place at? How much does it cost? So can you tell us what you're going to ask for targets, or, what is a round going to cost someone, or do they have to have a membership, or is it a non-members? How does this work?
Let's start with the non-members. Anybody is welcome to shoot there.
Okay.
The non-members will be the same price per bird as what the members are, which is 37 cents a target.
Wow, that's a good price.
That is a great price.
The guest fee for the non-members is $12. And the members also get a discount on the carts and the venue and the lodge and things like that.
Okay.
But the memberships are $2,000 for the corporate. They get 2,000 free birds. The single is $400. They get 400 free birds. And the family is $600, and they get 600 free birds.
Wow, that's very good price.
It is, and we wanted to make it so money isn't going to be the issue that somebody doesn't want to shoot.
Right.
Right.
And so, right now we're pretty easy.
Now, can I ask, do you guys have any plans of doing any lessons or
Yes.
coaching there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have anybody in mind
Yeah,
yet?
we do. Bill Mayer is going to be the person that does that.
Okay.
And we have a lot of interest in that because people in our area, a lot of them have shot trap, but they've never shot sporting clays. And it's a big difference.
Oh, yes.
And Bill is very reasonable, and he's volunteered to come down and help us out.
That's awesome.
So we're very happy that we've got Bill on board. Good guy.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
You went exclusively with Atlas traps.
Yes.
Was that an easy button for you?
Yes. After beating Scott, it became pretty easy. And after seeing the trap and the functions of it, it became kind of a no-brainer, to be honest with you.
That's awesome.
To have anything with that kind of a warranty means you've built one heck of a machine.
Yeah. Yep. They've got the best warranty in the business.
They do.
So.
They do.
Website. Do you guys have a website? Or are you strictly social media right now, or?
We have a website,
And it is
Airport Ridge Sporting Clays, and you just click on it.
awesome. And I know you're on social media. You're on Facebook, Instagram as well. Am I missing one? Is there Twitter or anything? Just those two? Okay, gotcha.
And what kind of hours are you going to run for now?
We're going to be open every day
Okay.
by the reservation,
Okay.
and the members get first dibs at the weekends. But right now, it's new, and anybody can shoot anytime. And we're going to have 30 stations. Let's just put it this way. We're not going to turn people away.
Yeah, right.
It ain't going to happen.
That's not good business.
It's against my nature.
Right.
Well, I don't think I even told Sean this, but I set a couple of the targets on the 5-stand,
Oh, yeah?
and this is a neat 5-stand.
Rambo specials are there?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's even a trap up above you in the house.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah. It's a very neat 5-stand, and the ground will fool you. So I expect plenty of missed targets by you, Mr. Alley.
Oh, well, nothing new there.
So, Mr. Weaver, are we missing anything? Is there anything you wanted to talk about? Anything that we didn't ask you already? Or?
Well, no, I think you've covered it really, really well, guys. But I guess if somebody would ask me, what is the number one driver in me, Paul Weaver, that wanted to do this? The number one driver is not sporting clays. Believe it or not, it isn't. I have mentored and I have consulted with many, many, many business people, and I can tell you most of them are lonely. They're kind of isolated.
Yeah.
They're with people all day long, and the weekends they just want to kick back and do absolutely nothing. And you know what? We all need the fellowship of other men, and that is one of the big reasons that I want to do this, because lonely men are not productive men.
Right.
And women, the same thing. But women get together more than men do. Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the driving interests that I have. And the place we have, you can sit around after you're done shooting, and you can visit as long as you want to.
Yeah, you got that. That's one thing we didn't mention. They got that nice little patio with the gazebo, the roof, and everything
pavilion.
right there. The pavilion. Yep.
Yes.
It'd be a great place to hang out.
So that's one of the big things for me is I'm a business person. I want to talk to other business people, and if I can help them, I'd love to help them.
Well said.
That's very cool. I almost answered your question, and I think the answer was more or less people.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
It wasn't sporting clays; it was people.
It's people.
And
People having fun makes me happy.
yeah, and I don't think you really meet a finer group of people than you do at a sporting clay course, in my
I know.
opinion. So,
I know.
Yeah.
They're just there's nobody that you run your golf cart by or they're waiting on you that gets angry. It doesn't happen.
Right.
And you know the other thing I just want to say, I just told a friend of mine that everybody says, "Oh, you have guns, you have isn't this dangerous?" I, in my 30 years of shooting, have not heard of one person that was shot or injured on a sporting clay. I'm sure it's happened, but I have never heard of it.
I'm going to contact the NSSF, but the last I heard, it is the safest sport statistically in the world.
Are you serious?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I'm going to contact NSSF and I'm going to ask them in fact, you know what? Anybody that hears this, if you could prove me wrong, please do it. But I've heard this over and over again. Statistically, it is the safest sport in the world.
Well, that just makes my point.
Yeah,
Guns don't shoot people; people shoot people.
you're exactly right.
There it is.
Right.
There it is.
Yep. Well, this has been This has been wonderful.
Oh, this has been a ball. This has been a ball.
Thank you for having us down
Oh
here.
no,
Oh,
absolutely
it's our
our
pleasure.
It's been
pleasure.
a real pleasure.
And we can't wait to get out there and shoot.
Yes.
And I can't wait to have you there.
Yeah.
We're ready. We're
Well,
ready.
I tell you what, I'm gonna lasso David when he comes in town.
Yes.
I meant what I said.
Yes.
Let's the four of us get together.
Yes.
We'll shoot around. We'll have some lunch.
Yes.
Please come join us, if you would, Mrs. Weaver, for lunch. I'm sorry, I'm looking away from the microphone, but I think it's going to be fun.
It is.
It really is.
And I'm looking forward to it.
I am too.
It'll be a great time.
Yep.
Be a great time.
Well, Mr. Weaver, thank you, sir.
You're so
very
welcome.
much. Sean, anything you want to add?
Nope, just a big thank you to all of our sponsors, Bear Pelt, Game Boar, RE Ranger, Atlas Traps, and Negrini. Without them, we couldn't make this happen.
And what do we always say when we end the show?
You'll catch us all right back.
No.
What?
See, there he goes, getting ahead of himself. Take someone new shooting.
Oh, take someone new shooting. Yes, we don't want to ever forget that.
There you go.
Definitely get out there and take somebody shooting. And we'll see you next time here on the Dead Pair Podcast.